Magnum, did Hogan first get on your radar? Was it when he started really taking off in WWE, or were you pretty aware of him at a certain other point in time? I know you guys didn't ever cross paths in the ring, but
So we met in Tampa in
mhm.
1981
Wow.
when I was just getting started, a year in the business, and he was just trying to kind of figure his way around and in and outs and all abouts, and he came down to the Tampa to the sportatorium there. We just I just saw him, said hello, both kind of in passing, no big deal. Obviously, it was before his big deal, and uh, and then we never saw each other again uh, because as I got in the position I was with the Crockett's, and we went into this one-on-one battle with them, it became a competition, and many shows they booked the same town on the same night, and NWA was in one building and WWE's in another building, and they're both sold out. And the big thing was we were trying to give such a marketably different product than they were, feeling we were paying homage to the history of the NWA and professional wrestling, and what the same thing that Vern was so proud of. We were going out there and having 30-minute hour matches, and Hogan's going in having a 10-minute entrance, a 5-minute match, and 10 more minutes afterwards posing and doing all those things. And it was such a marketably different approach that it was almost adversarial. It was almost like we were in a real battle,
Yeah.
and so much to the point that the Pro Wrestling Illustrators of the world and those people were having a heyday with it. And I've got a copy of it around here somewhere. There's a picture and him and I nose to nose on the cover,
Whoa.
and
Yeah.
and they posed it, to put it up, and they ran a legitimate popularity poll to see what would happen. And
Yeah.
I beat him at this
You
legitimate
won.
popularity poll, and people were going crazy about it. But the thing of it was, at the time, Flair was still the world champion, and that was about to unfold for me. So it was just absolutely no telling what would have happened, had I, had the opportunity, had the world title. I can't imagine the clamor there would have been for, him and I, and just like they did for Flair and him. But in my case, it's funny. We're both Terrys. He's Terry Bollea, Terry Allen. That's funny. We both end up on, this imaginary battlefield of this thing called wrestling. But it's funny because I talked to him years later after my accident. Spent about an hour, a couple hours with him in a dressing room one night, and it was like he was a smart businessman because he studied the things that people would buy, and he knew he wasn't a technical wrestler, but he also knew that he could get a bigger reaction doing these antics and these things than he could, trying to, work a hold and doing the storytelling that traditional, wrestling, people would point you towards to be a great champion. So like he took from superstar Billy Graham and from Dusty Rhodes and
Mhm.
Muhammad Ali and all the showboat showmanship things, and found a really unique niche. But what I find really interesting in watching his career and his body of work, what I enjoyed most that he did out of his entire career was the heel turn in WCW.
Yeah.
His best work, hands down to me in the ring, was as a heel. He
Mhm.
was a flippin' stellar heel, a la the big bad men of the day heels. He could work that stomping, kicking, mean, dastardly thing, and he was a big guy.
Yeah.
So he played it well, and
Yes.
and so like and man, the guy, he left his body in that ring. We all make fun of, oh, you had the big atomic leg drop. What a finish that is, right? And he pile drived his own back for 20 years and destroyed himself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So he paved a way and did something that nobody had ever done and transcended the bubble of wrestling. Vince McMahon putting him in that platform on that grand stage, making him a household word all over internationally. Couldn't go anywhere in the world without being recognized. I mean, there'll never be another, Hulk Hogan. I mean, arguably, Stone Cold in his 1 year of superstardom that was, megastardom was on a par. But for that many years that Hogan was where he was at, nobody's ever really going to top that.